Well, good evening and welcome to Rural Strong Live. It's been a minute, but I'm glad you're here with us here. And it's always a fun time when we get to spend some time with the pride of Lancaster, Kentucky, Mr. Alex Miller. Alex, how are you, man?
Oh man, if I was doing any better, I think there'd be two of me. I'm doing real good.
I don't know if the world can handle two of you.
One's enough. My parents would both agree on that.
But we'd be blessed. But we're blessed to have the one here,
That's right.
and some big things going on. This was originally supposed to happen back in November, but I came away with a bad case of COVID from a 10-day travel trip, and then all of a sudden it just kind of morphed into the holidays, and here we are. It's January 23rd here, but we finally got this thing going, and man, I've been waiting. I've been excited for everything you got going on.
Well, it's always nice to be on Tractors and Troubadours. I appreciate y'all so much for having me on here, and we've had a long friendship. You know, you interviewed me about 3 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
At the Indianapolis convention there. That was when I opened for Brett Young. So it's good to see you again, and I'm glad you're doing better since COVID.
Man, no problem. And you've been putting a lot of miles under those bus treads since then. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about FFA in a little bit here. Also, the new EP Country and the latest single, Putting Up Hay, for all y'all farmers out there. But first of all, hey, how about we kick things off with a little song, huh?
Well, sounds good. What you want to hear, Brett?
Dealer's choice, man.
Okay, I'll do you one that for those of you that did watch me on American Idol, maybe you'll remember this. And I wrote this about an ex-girlfriend, and this song's been more faithful than she was. It's called "I'm Over You," so get over me. It goes a little something like this. Well, time and time again I try, and just when I get you off my mind, oh, off my mind, well, you come crawling on your knees, just falling, crying and begging, please. But I'm over you, so get over me. Well, your lying eyes, they finally made me see that you and I were never meant to be, or meant to be. Well, lately I've been getting smart, but you know you're never gonna break my heart, 'cause I'm over you, so get over me. Yeah, let's turn it around. This is the truth. Well, I know you and I've been through a lot, maybe I reckon I have. But you and I just gotta stop. Oh, I'm tired of this misery. I want to be single and I want to be free. I'm over you, so get over me. Oh, yeah, I'm over you, so get over me.
Yes. And that song has been through quite a few iterations since we saw it on American Idol.
Yes, no kidding.
Over the past few years. But boy, you really shaped that thing up and got it looking like a shiny penny.
Well, I sure appreciate it. You know, that original recording of that, I did everything on there besides the drums. So I went to a guy's house in Lexington, Kentucky, and I play steel, of course, as my other instrument. And so I went over there and took my steel, took my guitars with me, and I knew I was going to cut that song because, you know, it's going to be on American Idol and stuff. And so I cut that, and I did all the steel work on it, all the bass work on it. Hey, he was a drummer, so I needed somebody to play drums, and that's why I picked him to go record it there. And his name was Jeff. I had a good time over doing that, and it's still out there on Spotify still, and I still get a little check from it every now and then.
Nice. You were messing around with a little lap steel last time we talked here. How's that going?
Man, I've come to really like that instrument. In fact, I liked it so much, I bought me a double neck lap steel and put it in my show. So whenever I go play, I take my lap steel with me, and I'll go over and play on it a couple numbers in the show.
Well, you know, you captured the nation's attention back in February 2021 when you were 17 years old. You went on Idol season 19. I was just looking today, that clip, the initial meeting with the judges has been viewed 2.7 million times now on YouTube.
That's crazy.
It's looking real good. And Lionel Richie called your personality infectious, and I'd have to agree with that statement. During the performance, as I'm sure you remember, Luke Bryan asked you what you thought would happen if you ever got a chance to step on that historic stage of the Grand Ole Opry. And I'm sure at that point you had to be like, man, what's happening at this moment, huh?
I think my words were, I think I'll die and go to heaven, is what I think I said.
Yeah.
And Luke Bryan hasn't taken me there yet, Brett. So I'm still waiting on Luke.
Well, that was my next question. Where we stand with all that?
Well, I don't know where we stand. I think I ought to reach out to him maybe or something.
That's right.
But I haven't heard nothing from him in 3 years since the show, and I'd like to think that at some point he'll get me there. But I've been waiting very patiently. So I hope he hurries up and does it. But we'll see. It's just one of those things.
Hopefully, somebody who's watching here has some influence. So, if you know anybody, hey, make this guy a fixture on the Opry.
He needs to be a call.
Yes, he needs to be there. And I have to say, you did get a chance to play the Ryman, with some great folks. So
yeah, the Queen of Bluegrass, Miss Rhonda Vinson. Yeah, I got to do that.
Absolutely,
before. Yeah, that was fantastic. And she's still a great and dear friend of mine. And hope Rhonda's doing good out there.
Yeah, she was last night. She was on with Michael Jonathan on Wood Songs down
That's what I thought
in your old neck of the woods with Michael Jonathan, our buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's over in Lexington. See, when I was a little kid, I was one of his Wood Songs kids back in the day. And so now I'm a Wood Song adult. The last time I went over there and played, I'm a Wood Song adult now.
Man, I get so busy I forget to check in on that show, but I happened to catch one the other night, and it was just it was phenomenal.
It's a great show for this area. It gives people a reason to pick up the guitar and try to learn some things and get out and try to go make something themselves. You see yourself on television. That's some great inspiration to keep picking.
He had Wyatt Ellis on there, the young mandolin
man, he's
player.
Fantastic, ain't he?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be another one we need to get on the show here before too long.
He'd be a good one for y'all.
Well, after you got done with Idol, of course, you were signed to Billy Jam Records with the legendary music man Jerry Salley. You've had quite a run. We're going to share a clip of you with Jerry and friends here in a moment. But, I was just thinking about something the other day. So much of this music is made in Tennessee, but, some of the best people I know come from Kentucky, the old bluegrass state here. And one of the folks who've been the most supportive of me and what I'm doing. I think of folks like my buddy Dustin Collins and Tyler Booth and J.D. Shelburne, Dylan Carmichael, Rye Davis, Kevin Jaggers, then, like Wood Songs, Michael Jonathan, and our friend Jessica Blankenship with the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and Museum. And then you think about all the greats that come out of Kentucky, and I'd be here all day if I start to name them all, and I probably miss a whole bunch, but do you ever think about that, just what it means to carry the banner for your home state when you go out and play these shows?
Yes, I do. And, speaking of Idol, that's the one thing that I remember about being on that show and coming home and seeing people around here again. When I did that show, when they cut me, they cut me for doing country music, Brett. What they cut me for. They want me to do like some pop number, and I did Silver Wings, and they sent me home on a pair of them. But the thing I enjoyed the most and appreciated, the biggest compliment was thank you for representing us and representing us well on national television. Kentucky, sometimes we get made fun of because they think we're all a bunch of hillbillies, but I tried to show a little class and show that I'm proud to be a hillbilly too. But at the same time, we're all not what a lot of people seem and think. And I was the biggest compliment I ever received was from the people here saying thank you for making us all look good here in Lancaster and the surrounding area as well.
And I won't do you like Jeannie Seeley did me one time and asked me to hold up my feet to see if I was wearing shoes, but I would assume you're wearing shoes too.
Oh yeah, if I could get my foot up high enough, I'll show you there because they're worth showing off. These are
you probably got the ostrich boots on, don't you?
You bet, man. It don't matter what I do, I dress up for it. So you don't dress for the job you got, you dress for the job you want.
That's right. Yeah, we'll get those ostrich boots in the fame circle one of these days.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. But before that, you had a chance to make over the past few months your debut at the legendary Bluebird Cafe in Nashville.
Yes, that was so nice and cool. what was so neat was how many people were there. There was Jerry Salley was there. Carl Jackson was there. I got to meet Carl Jackson. I've got to take him a baseball. He's a big Mickey Mantle fan, and we found a Mickey Mantle baseball, and I got to take that to him. Thank you for. If I didn't do this, Brett, I'd have forgot it. Also, Wood Newton was there, and so I've got to write with Wood Newton since then. Still waiting to write with Carl Jackson, but he's got a busy schedule.
All right, boy, that's some high cotton right there.
Yeah, I was a little intimidated, not to lie.
Right. Yeah, we had Scott Southworth on the show last month, and we talked about Carl Jackson. You used to do the great Music Row show on WSM, which ran on Sunday nights, where he brought in all the great songwriters. And one of my favorite episodes he did was with Carl Jackson. It was right there around the time that they released the tribute album,
the Lucan Brothers record.
No, it wasn't that one. It was the Bristol Sessions, when he did the Bristol Sessions record, and Eddie Stubbs narrated that, and Vince Gill was on there, Brad Paisley, Marty Stewart, so many great artists on that album, Keb Mo, and I love going back and listening to that. But listening to Carl, who had a great career, not only of his own making, but also with Glenn Campbell and so many other things he did. So man, just to sit across from those guys must have been something, huh?
It was pretty crazy. And what was cool about that night is it was really cool to lean over and go, "Hey, Carl Jackson." I said, "Hey, Carl, pick this." And so Carl picked on "Get Lucky in Kentucky" that night. So that was pretty cool to get his interpretation of one of my songs. I enjoyed that a lot.
Well, I have a clip of that here that we were able to grab. So we're going to put this out here and let everybody see "Getting Lucky in Kentucky" from the Blue River Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee.
Good to be here with y'all tonight. Talking about them accents, brother, I'm going to lay a thinking on you tonight. When I first came to town, I hadn't wrote with many folks. I was 17 at the time, was my first write. And I wrote with Jerry Salley. It was the first write, really, when I come to town with Jerry. And we wrote 2 songs in one session and 2 songs in the other. And I've learned a lot from Jerry, because we're not going to do either one of those tonight. But we are going to do one that we did write, and I like to think that I come up with the idea for it. We got any Kentucky folks in here tonight? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, we're going to do a song that only we can understand. And I like to think that this was my idea, and Jerry had the personal experience behind it. It's called "Getting Lucky in Kentucky." Ready, Jerry?
I'm ready, brother.
1, 2, 3. Well, you might call me a gambling man. I've never been afraid to roll the dice and take a chance on love. So ain't you caught my eye in Louisville the first Saturday in May? All it took was just one look at her to change my luck. Well, I knew I held a winning number when she wrote it down, handed it to me and gave away. And before the first gate opened, we were nowhere to be found. Left my friends there at the track with just one thought of thing. Well, he's getting lucky in Kentucky, stealing kisses sweet and true, picking 4-leaf clovers underneath that old blue moon. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight. Well, what do y'all think? Well, they're missing me at the poker game every Friday night, wondering where I am and what I'm up to. Y'all know, don't you? 'Cause these days they know I never miss a chance to hold her tight. Bet them guys down at the racetrack are still up betting on me too. Well, he's getting lucky in Kentucky, stealing kisses sweet and true, picking 4-leaf clovers underneath that old blue moon. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight. Now, Jerry, I added this part. If I lose my gal in Kentucky, Lord, if that don't worry me, remember when I'm still getting lucky in Kentucky, stealing kisses sweet and true. Picking four-leaf clovers underneath that old blue moon. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky, getting lucky in Kentucky, getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight.
Wow, what a performance. What a night.
Oh, man, that just brings a smile to my face.
Mine too.
I appreciate you playing that.
I'm sitting here right now.
I'm
sitting here 20 minutes from Churchill Downs. So when I hear that, it makes me smile.
makes you want to go over there and bet on some horses, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. But only a few more weeks, man.
I know. It's right upon us, ain't it?
Yeah, it really did. After the holidays, you start that countdown here. We'll be there before you know it.
That's right.
Well, as I was watching that clip and I got to thinking about this week here, when we put labels on performers, we sometimes call people singers, songwriters, or we sometimes call people entertainers, and I think a singer songwriter, to me, it's almost more of this artistic thing, almost a little staid and boring. And then entertainer sometimes is somebody who might be able to put on a good show but doesn't write or doesn't do whatever. But I look at what you got going on here, man. I feel like it's just a total package of all of it.
Well, I try to be a jack of all trades. I may not be good at none, but I sure try. And
I disagree.
I appreciate it. I've always took pride in being a great entertainer and being a great songwriter and being a great singer. I try to always say I do the best I can. And if I can't do that, then I can't do nothing. So the best Alex Miller is the version you're getting tonight.
Well, and when I was looking at that early clip from American Idol, you're up there in the lights and all this is going on. You're looking a little sheepish. You still get up there and you got that entertainer in you, but man, I feel like you've really kind of come out of your shell here, if that's possible, over the past couple of years.
I'd agree with you. I tell you what's helped me the most is doing social media stuff. I try to do as much on social media as I possibly can, and that brings you out of your shell a little bit. And because whenever you do that, to me, the thing that's most important is you got to include your audience in everything that you do, and being personable is the number one thing you got to do. And I try to do that with my videos, with my music, and with myself, and most importantly. So doing social media definitely makes you think outside the box and lets people into your life that you're living.
Well, along those lines, I'm pulling up the comments here. We got a lot of great comments, a lot of great people checking in. Want to make mention of a few of them here. Peggy York on here checking in. We've got Nate Schilling from Deerfield, Wisconsin checking in tonight.
I played up there. Hope you're doing good up there, buddy.
I love it. And we've got Tony Dudley from Ohio. Patricia Clark, not sure where she's checking in from, but hey to you. We've got Pam, if you only knew, from Hamilton, Ohio. Okay. That's one of Alex's groupies there, I guess. Pam, if you only knew. And then we've got Vicki Thompson checking in from Corbin, Kentucky, one of the great destinations in the bluegrass. We've got Gene Mitchell Newman checking in from Louisville. Terry checking in from Nebraska, Terry Thompson. Tony Campbell from Waynesboro, Virginia checking in. So, man, a nice little cross-section of folks checking in from all over the country. Deb Hopkins. And I see my buddy Steve Marquardt on here, my co-host with the Fort Worth Musical Moments. He's got a big doings coming out at National Hall in Fort Worth, February 3rd, which we'll be telling you all about again this week on the Fort Worth Musical Moments show. So make sure you tune into that. We got Patricia Clark checking in from Texas. So I hope she's watching Fort Worth Musical Moments Fridays, 10 a.m. Central, right here on the Rural Strong Media page, also the Fort Worth Musical Moments page. We've got Mayo, Yukon, Canada. Heather Staggers checking in. Nancy Powell House from Arkansas. Man, have you been to Canada yet?
I could throw a rock and hit Canada. I've been up to Niagara Falls, and that's about as close as I've been to Canada. It looked like on the other side, it was almost like Pigeon Forge over there. I can't remember the name of the town that's right across the river, but it looked really neat. I wanted to go over there, but I didn't have my passport with me, so I had to skip it. But one of these days, I will get up to Canada and play y'all some shows. We've been bad close, but we've never been in Canada. No.
Excellent. Well, you got time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Good.
At 20, I've got hopefully got a lot of time.
Here's praying. So we got Tiger Moore. We've got Jeanette Sakala. I always get one where I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I apologize. From Colorado checking in. So we've got a lot of states represented here tonight. Keep dropping them in the comments. We'll give you a shout out a little bit later on. Want to get back to business here. You know, our whole mission is to connect with farmers and ranchers in all these states and communities that we've mentioned along the way here. And what we do is kind of right in your wheelhouse. And a couple of months back, you attended the 96th National FFA Convention and Expo in Indianapolis, where you received your American FFA degree. What did that moment mean to you?
Oh, that was a huge moment for me. Being an FFA member in school was a big part of my school career. I was a member for 4 years and was vice president my senior year, and was even a regional officer. So getting that degree was everything. You know, the reason I got that degree, a lot of people don't know what that represents, but basically you put your time and your hours in your SAE project with us, which is a supervised ag experience. And it's a big part of the FFA, and you can win money to go to college with those kind of things and win some big prizes at the national level. But it was doing that meant I put my time in, basically taking care of my cows and stuff. So that was a big achievement for me, and it certainly was a great moment for me as well. And getting to put my jacket on for the last time definitely was a little emotional, but I'm glad I got my degree, and I wish all my other FFA members that got it last year the best in their careers as well.
And that's the cool thing about FFA, unlike other things you're involved in high school, like sports or anything else. Like when you graduate, it's just over, right? So,
Right.
you know, there's some things with FFA you get to kind of carry on into college, and
Right.
it's a nice bridge between your young life and the old adult life, where you got to start actually adulting.
Yes, it is. And the best part about FFA to me is it's one of the best organizations that prepares you to be an adult, I would say, too. As far as like leadership skills, it teaches you how to be a great leader, how to be a great speaker, and not to be shy. And in this
Right.
world we're living in, being shy, you can't be that. You got to be out and open. And I think that I'm a good example of what FFA can do to a person.
Well, I can tell you, after being around so many FFA students, especially at the national level, man, I'm just so blown away by how articulate and sharp, you know, great problem
Yeah.
solvers, and that's what the world needs right now, because you know, in the business world, we're kind of lacking some of that, is people who can think critically and think on their feet and be able to you know, troubleshoot when when they're in a pinch. And
Amen to
you know,
that.
anybody who's coming in through FFA has got those skills for sure.
I think the biggest thing, I read a story about that, job interviews. You can always, most people that go in for FFA stuff, when they go in for a job interview, they said they're some of the most well prepared people, because a part of FFA and contest is doing interviews and doing things like that. So it prepares you very, very well for any career that you go in outside of high school. And I know for the music business, it certainly did. You can't be shy. You know, you gotta be outgoing and talk to people, and which is two things that I know I gained, helped my ability whenever I joined FFA. And as far as like being able to talk to folks, you know, I got to do a lot of that. Tonight is a good example.
That's right.
So FFA certainly helped me with that, and helped me with that mindset of how I need to try to be in life.
Well, while you were up there at the national convention, you also got to judge the FFA's national talent competition. Do you see anybody there that might be following in your footsteps?
Yeah, I did see some. There was a lot of good acts up there. There was one boy that he blew us away. He was the winner. He was from California, and he was it wasn't, country music didn't win last year, which I felt kind of bad about. But there was a guy that came from out in California. I can't remember exactly the town, but he had like a mariachi outfit and had FFA logos all over. And apparently he had to go through this big process to do it. And it was absolutely fantastic. He went up there and did some traditional mariachi songs. And we said, well, I've never seen anything like this. And this is unique and different and cool. And so we put him in. And I knew I'd made the right choice whenever I was sitting to get my American FFA degree. And he came out there and did a few songs and the kids went nuts. I thought, well, I made the right choice by picking him. And it was really cool to see. And that's what I, as a judge, I wanted to see something that was different, you know. And whenever I was, I'm going to be honest, whenever I was in the talent, I probably wouldn't have picked myself, if that makes any indication of what the judging process is like.
Well, I tell you, you know, for anybody who was at the national, with the birthplace of Western Swing Festival, the Cowtown birthplace of Western Swing Festival in Fort Worth a few months ago, you know, we had a little exposition on mariachi and talked about some of the influences on American Western swing music. So,
oh yes, it was big influence, especially like the horn section side of things. That's all mariachi and big band, of course, too. But the fiddles, even all that twin fiddle stuff comes from the mariachi side of music. So you can even hear that influence in George Strait's music. So right. The mariachi music, that whole thing going on in Texas is cool because it's a blend of every type of music that has ever been, and to the point that it made its own.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, that was a huge accomplishment for you in 2023. And when you think back on the year, what were some of your other funnest accomplishments?
Oh man, being able to travel and tour was probably one of my biggest accomplishments. We were out, our longest stint out, we was out about 12 days without being home, which and until you've been gone 12 days from home, you don't realize how long that seems. But right. That was a big accomplishment, being able to pull something like that off and being able to travel and do that. Making a living at this has been a big achievement for me. You know, the first couple of years, you know, we started out in the negative and we're in the positive now, which is a big deal for anybody. So seeing that growth and seeing how my name's getting out there and things like that, that's kind of my achievements. You know, awards really don't mean nothing to me. It's just an accomplishment of what I've already know. So it's except for the American FFA degree stuff, and I'll take that. But as far as musical accomplishments and stuff, I'm releasing records, releasing music is definitely some stuff as well. But being able to support myself is probably my biggest achievement this year.
And now you're rolling places on a tour bus.
That's right. Yeah, we got a tour bus now, so that definitely might have set us in the black if we wasn't careful. But the tour bus, it's been a godsend. It's like now I will say it's like buying a boat, buying a tour bus. You're always going to have some problems, but we've been very lucky, and our bus has been really good to us so far.
I think it was George Jones that said he used to play shows just to afford to be able to keep the bus running. So
I have no doubts.
You know, when you look back on the career over the last year or 18 months or so, how do you feel like you've continued to evolve as an artist?
Well, you know, I mean, not just as an artist, but as a person. You know, 18 months ago, I would have been almost just turned 19, pretty much. So transitioning out of your teenage years into your 20s definitely is going to mellow a person, no matter who you are. I've seen my growth as far as my music is concerned. I've kept my music very traditional, but at the same time, I've not been afraid to grow and try new things, like with "Girl, I Know a Guy," for instance, or "When God Made the South." That whole last record was just a trial run of things to see if I could do it. And I did. I pulled it off. "Girl, I Know a Guy" has been my most streamed song, and right behind it is my other one, "When God Made the South." So seeing that growth and seeing kind of what my audience is, that's another thing too. My audience is just good country folks, and whether they're in New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, or Lancaster, Kentucky, don't matter where you are, you can always be country and be a country music fan, and that's something that I've learned as well. I think that's probably the main things that I would say. It's so just growing up as a person.
So when you talk about that musical exploration and working with Jerry Salley, what is that like? I mean, he give you pretty much free reign to be able to kind of explore those boundaries?
Yeah. That's what I like about Jerry. And he pushes me, and that's what I appreciate. It's there's nothing worse in life than a yes man. There's nothing worse in life than someone telling you yes all the time. And with Jerry Sally, I got a lot of no's, but I got a lot of good yeses too. Like we tried to experiment with some things, and South, for instance, I was like, man, I want to do a good rock song. So we went out and found this rock song, and it rocks at shows too. So working with people like that's what I appreciate about Jerry and my parents. They have never been ones to just tell me, well, yes, that's a great idea, Alex. No, they've sat me down and we've tried to think through things and do things that way. And it's something that I probably didn't like at the time, but it's a blessing to me now because it's taught me so much about. I'm not always right, and a lot of kids would be told that too.
Right. Well, I'm just sitting here thinking I need to get Jerry on one of these shows here so we can hear the other side of this.
Yeah, so that Alex is the hardest kid I've ever had to work with in my life.
I'm sure it won't be that. And I tell you, I was kind of looking today through the list of folks that you've had the blessing of opening up for over the past couple of years. And, think about this. If you're listening at home, these are the people who know the name of Alex Miller. We're talking about Brooks and Dunn, Hank Williams Jr., Chris Jansen, Jamie Johnson, Josh Turner, Lee Bryce, Aaron Watson, our buddies Dylan Carmichael and Drake Milligan. And also, as we talked about earlier, Rhonda Vincent. So, man, that's
hearing them off like that, I was like, did I really play with all them people? Are you sure that's me, Brett?
Man,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
In 2024, I would imagine that list is just going to keep growing.
I know we've got a show with Neil McCoy. I'm looking forward to that one. I've heard his show is fantastic. Tracy Bird, I think I've got a show with him coming up this year too. So I'm getting some people that I've always listened to as a kid too in there, which is great. I love getting to meet those guys. And people always ask me, have I had bad experiences with any of them folks? And I can honestly say, Brooks and Dunn, Hank Jr., they were all nice to me. And that's all I can say. I can say how they treated me, and they treated me with utmost respect and dignity. And that was truly kind. And these we're all people at the end of the day. And I think as musicians and artists, some artists forget it, but most of us are very appreciative of where we are, and it's because of the folks that are looking through that screen right there.
All right. Well, if you are like me and you grew up in the 80s and 90s, and you talk about Brooks and Dunn and Hank Jr., it doesn't get any bigger than that. I mean, they were at the pinnacle.
Yeah, and being to be around those people, I've learned a lot as well. I mean, they are right on the money, and they mean business. And but when after the show, they can kick back and relax. Like at the Brooks and Dunn show, I sat back there and we talked to Ronnie forever. He's just as nice a guy, and Kix was as nice a guy. They both were kind. I think Kix even let my guitarist go up on his bus and walk around and check it out. And that's what I appreciate. How they not only how they treat me, but my band and my crew as well. They treat everybody great, and it's one thing to treat me good, but if you treat my people good, then that means just as much or more.
Right. Well, let's talk about the high songwriting cotton you've been in here, because not only have you been working with Jerry Sally, but then we start to reel off folks like Kent Blasey, Bill White, Josh Schilling, Christy Manna, and Emily Ann Roberts, who's tearing up the bluegrass world right now. How have those folks helped you raise your game?
Well, they pushed me too, and that's what when I go into a writing session and with Kent Blasey, he was fantastic. I love writing with him. He's a Kentucky guy too, so we talk a lot about Lexington because he lived in Lexington for a long time. So writing with Kent is a great experience. Kent is he'll let you free think a little bit and work on your ideas. And mainly when I come into a writing session, what I bring in is an idea. And that's what a lot of these guys look for, is a guy that come in with an idea, and they can usually write the song around your idea. But I try to come in with ideas that I think are creative and different. Like I think the first song I wrote when I came to Nashville was a song called Girls Must Be Clumsy Because They're Falling For Me. So I come in with ideas like that and get the guys' minds working. And songs like that are kind of cute and funny can lead to other things that are awesome. So, that's kind of my goal. And with Emily Ann, I love writing with her. We've got some good, me and Emily Ann's got me, Emily Ann, and Bill White, another writer that we write with a bunch. We've got a great song that we're going to record. and it might be a duet. So I'm just letting you in on little secrets behind the scenes stuff. It won't be out for a long time, but just letting you know that there's some things cooking.
We will be watching for that one. I know Kent Blasey's got some stuff coming up here in the next few weeks that he's going to be releasing. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get him on a show here and showcase a little bit of what he's got going on. Earlier, you mentioned Girl, I Know a Guy. That was a song that did really well for you in 2023. Tell us a bit about that one.
Well, this was a song that was pitched to me, and I'm going to be honest, Brett, when I talked about Jerry pushing me a little bit, this is kind of what it meant. This song, when I first heard it, it didn't sound like it does. It sounded really poppy, and I was a little scared of it, to be honest with you. But when I heard Jerry's arrangement and how he kind of wanted to do the song, the more and more I started to like it. And the main reason I wanted to record the song is I hadn't done any song for the ladies, and I wanted to do a song for all the ladies out there. So Girl, I Know a Guy was it. And I think it turned out fantastic. It's a great story in there. You know, he's talking about he loves this girl, and she may not notice that. And so I think there's a lot of guys that go through that. So I want to do something that was a lady-focused song, and also something that I think the guys could appreciate as well.
Well, I've got this video queued up here, and we're going to show it for everybody now. Girl, I Know a Guy, for all the ladies out there.
It going on more than fine on your own. It's not like you need someone to show you how it's done, but if you ever change your mind, girl, I know a guy. You've got your routine down, your Tuesday girls night out, hot yoga twice a week, ain't nothing else you need. But if you ever change your mind, girl, I know a guy. Let me show you what you're missing, let me be your something more. Do some dancing in the kitchen, let me open all your doors. We can tear down all your walls, brick by brick, watch them fall. Wanna know what love feels like? Girl, I know a guy. I'd pull you into me, make you feel 17. I'd listen to your dreams, wake up what's been asleep. So if you ever change your mind, girl, I know a guy. Let me show you what you're missing, let me be your something more. Do some dancing in the kitchen, let me open all your doors. We can tear down all your walls, brick by brick, watch them fall. Wanna know what love feels like? Girl, I know a guy. Show you what you're missing, let me be your something more. Do some dancing in the kitchen, let me open all your doors. We can tear down all your walls, brick by brick, watch them fall. Wanna know what love feels like? Girl, I know a guy. Girl, I know a guy.
That was the chivalrous Alex Miller.
Brad Pitt Jr. there and that.
And the thing I like the most about that is you end with about 7 seconds of solid bluegrass. There's
Yeah.
banjo music to end that thing.
I did. I had to throw my banjo players a bone there with that one.
He was just
yeah.
standing in the corner the whole time waiting, wasn't he?
He's got one lick. He's got one lick in the song. But hey, that's good. Yeah, that video is pretty fun there, and and we filmed that in my hometown, and then in Stanford, Kentucky too. So we got some Kentucky stuff in there.
I love it. Boy, the comments have been pouring in while we're watching that video here. And for some reason, some of these folks don't show up their names. So I apologize if you're putting comments in here and I can't holler at you. But seeing some stuff from Deb Hopkins, Donna Hopkins checking in, Vicky Thompson, Jean Mitchell Newman says Alex gets better and better. So
thank you. Deb Hopkins. So that stuff there in that house, that was filmed at her house. She's a family friend here. So we got her house. Her house is in that video, so you can see how nice of a house Deb has there.
Nice. I love it. Michelle Bennett says, awesome song and video. We got somebody here who's not showing up, says, Alex is a great singer. We need him to play at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo next year. Yeah.
I'm with that.
I'm down with that. Definitely need to get him to Fort Worth here. We see Sissy Torres checking in from Madison, Indiana. Just up the road here. We're getting some from Texas. Roy Asaf from East Coast Canada says, get your butt up here as soon as it gets a bit warmer, eh?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I wish it was warmer here, to be honest with you.
We've got Hilda Minton checking in from Hickory, North Carolina. Love cool. That. So we got folks coming in. Oh, this is the one who wasn't being shown is Chris Carter, who's involved with the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. So Chris, you're listening. Let's get the wheels rolling, man. Yeah. Let's make this happen.
Amen to that.
Get a hold of the bookers and get them down there to Fort Worth.
We'd love to come to Texas. We haven't been to Texas enough. I know they'd like my stuff down there.
Well, no, there's no question about it, man. I mean, Texas is a wide open market, and they love real, true, traditional country music. And man, there's plenty of opportunity there.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Kentucky, I'd probably move to Texas. But
there you go. Have you ever dabbled with any Western swing?
Oh man, that first record, Miller Time, it's got all kinds of Western swing stuff on it that were kind of original material. Don't Let the Barn Door Hit You. That's pretty much straight up Western swing.
Absolutely. Well, hearing the banjo lick makes me wonder. You've been around all these bluegrass people. Any bluegrass material forthcoming?
Well, I wrote a little bit of it. I wrote with Larry Cordell, and he cut a bluegrass version of something we wrote. But I don't know if he's released it yet. I wrote with Carson Peters, the great fiddle player. You know of him? He's fantastic. Yes. Carson Peters and Iron Mountain. He's a label mate. So we got to get together right with him. We wrote us a good bluegrass number too. But I dabble with it. I'm being from Kentucky. I love bluegrass music. But for some reason that Western swing got me whenever I was younger instead of the grassier side of things. But I love them both.
I love it. I'm looking at the comments here. Chris Carter says, I need a video to send to the entertainment people at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. So we'll hook all this up, off air here and get the wheels rolling on that one. That'd be phenomenal. Now we just need somebody from the Opry to check in. If you happen to be lurking back there, come on.
No kidding. That'd be great. We're getting some stuff done tonight, Brett.
That's right. I see Joe Rucker checking in from Nashville. Joe's been on the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree before. Another great artist out of Nashville checking in. Colonel Drayden Gordon checking in, man. What's going on, Drayden? Good to see you checking in. Another standard bearer for true traditional honky tonk and Western swing country music.
He's good.
All the good stuff, man. I love it. And that's what I love about this stuff, man. Everybody kind of sticks together and supports one another and lifts one another up here. It's a cool thing.
Well, especially like Drayden, he's a good guy and a good singer, Drayden there. Y'all need to follow him if you don't keep up with his music and his career. He's a DJ over in Grayson, I think over in Grayson, Kentucky. And he's a good guy. And He's more of a bluegrasser. I think he would even say that, but he does some good country stuff too. And I always enjoy finding people like that. Drayton's a good one. He got to come ride with us. We did a show and Drayton came with us on one of our shows, and he rode on the bus, and we had a good time just getting to know each other and talking some Kentucky and talking some country music.
I love it. Well, as we start to look down the row here at 2024, what are some of the big things you got on the horizon?
Well, always in my touring schedule, I stay pretty busy, thank goodness, and that's what I always look to and point people towards. You don't know a person, you don't know an entertainer until you come see them live, and our show is very, very good. I'm not a braggart, but our show is very good. Drayton will tell you, and we put on it's a traditional country show, but it's upbeat, if that makes any sense. It's right in your face. It's country, but it's pushing, if that makes any sense. It's clean show, so we have a good time, and I tell you, as far as another thing coming in 2024, lots of new music. I was talking to you a little before, I think, or maybe earlier on in the show, about some things coming up. We're talking about releasing some acoustic songs, just me and my guitar and maybe another guitar player, and I think those would be very interesting. I think my fans will really appreciate those, as well as releasing other official music things as well. But just trying some different things this year, and onwards and upwards is basically what I'm looking forward to.
I spent this afternoon listening to the legendary album Hank Williams and his guitar, where it's just him stripped down with the guitars. I think there's something to be said for that, when you can just kind of peel back the layers and just get personal.
Those are great recordings too. I think those were all like home tapes or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are very cool.
The one where he did Kalijah and started over like
he messed it up.
And they've got it all. I love that they left it all on there too.
Yeah. Well, I think they owe it to the fans, because there's nothing more human than a mistake, and especially in that kind of thing. I thought that was great. But with these sessions, they're kind of like that too. We don't make many mistakes in them, thank goodness. But we do have they're great. They're real stripped back, and they're authentic and genuine. And I haven't given my audience that, and so I wanted to do that with. I don't know what I'm going to title it, but we've got the artwork done. It looks spectacular, so I can't wait to put that out in the world and see how people like it or respond to it.
Do you have different people doing your artwork, or do you have one person that you kind of leaned on?
We let Billy Jam kind of take care of that side of things. They'll throw me a cover and I'll go, no, or they'll throw me one and I go, oh, that's exactly what I want there. So, I'm very honest with them, and we have a good relationship. They let me have a lot of input, and they have a lot of input as well. So, a lot of people might think that they're trying to change me. They're just letting me grow. It's not change. They're just letting me grow a little bit. So that's what I appreciate about them and working with them. And those acoustic sessions are going to be awesome.
I love it. So be paying attention to that. Make sure you're looking at the website, alexmillercountry.com, so you can keep on top of that. And looking at the comments here, some high praise from Joe Rucker. He says, Alex is a pro. Watch the video where he was playing a song and a train happened to go through. He immediately transitioned into Folsom Prison Blues. Didn't miss a beat.
Yes, we were up in, I think it was Arcola, Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. But we were up there, and we were doing one of my original. It was Breaking the Bank, and it was kind of got that train beat thing going with it. So a train came by and went wah, wah, and blew its horn. So we just transitioned right into Folsom Prison. It worked like a clock, and it was fantastic. It come off good in the video too.
Nice when things happen that way, isn't it?
Especially when you don't plan for them too.
Well, early in the show, we teased the fact that your latest single, Putting Up Hay, is out there now, which I know a lot of our farm and ranch folks here can certainly relate to. Mm-hmm. You filmed that during a 3-day run at the Missouri State Fair this past August. First of all, how fun are state fairs?
Oh, they're my favorite. They really are. We were playing in a kind of like a beer tent, but that didn't hurt my feelings none. And it was awesome. People coming up all day long and saying, "Man, we really like what you're doing." And it's a real way to meet your fans doing those kind of shows, and that's what I took it as. But it was a busy schedule, especially filming that video. We filmed there 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, and it was every minute I was having to do something and film and then go play my shows, which was fun as well. And I thought that the video turned out great. It shows a different side of the show, and it lets people kind of get in to some of the behind the scenes stuff. But it's a great story video too. With all my videos, I try to do a good story, and this one's good too. We do it as this is a girl I worked with on the farm, and I guess she's Daisy Bell, so she comes to the show and sees me, and we might roll in the hay a little bit. I don't know how that's the other way to say it.
I was going to say another opportunity for everybody to see the ladies' man, Alex Miller.
Well, if they don't like looking at me, they got something better to look at. That's the way I look at it.
Here, here. Well, we're going to share this one now. This is Putting Up Hay.
Well, fellas, here's where it all went down. This was my first summer job, was right here. Wow. Yeah. In fact, I've got a girl coming to the show tonight that I worked with here. Yeah, that's right. She's a real pretty girl, so I'm trying to impress her. So let's put on a good show, shall we? All right?
Yeah, we'll do it, bud. Do it.
Well, the first job that I ever had was working on the farm for Big Bill Ladd. His barn loft was hot as hell, and so was his daughter Daisy Bell. Oh, I never will forget those days putting up hay. It was hard to keep my mind on work, the way she filled out that skin-tight shirt in cut-off jeans and red pigtails. She drove the tractor as we loaded bales. When work was through, the two of us would stay putting up hay, working up a sweat, hay till we were soaking wet, hay in the summer heat, hay left it hurt was sweet. The work was hard, but it sure was worth the pay. Putting up hay, hay, out in the country we do it that way. That summer job, it came and went, and you know I've made more money since. But to see her bounce from that tractor seat, I guess I would've worked for free. I learned life on the farm was really great. Putting up hay out in the barn, hay in her loving arms, hay really stacked, hay when I look back. The work was hard, but it sure was worth the pay. Putting up hay. Putting up hay, working up a sweat, hay till we were soaking wet, hay in the summer heat, hay loving her was sweet. The work was hard, but it sure was worth the pay. Yeah, the work was hard, but it sure was worth the pay. Putting up hay, hay, out in the country, Lord, we do it that way.
What a catchy tune. I love it.
I know it's pretty good. If only it was a baseball, it'd be a home run.
That'd be a Mickey Mantle home run.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I tell you what, if you're following along, Alex Miller's got a few shows coming up here. If you happen to be in the area, this coming Saturday, January 27th, 2 shows, 9 p.m. and a special midnight show at Shenanigans and Shine in Falmouth, Kentucky. That's Falmouth, not foul mouth like we heard on the Opry earlier this week. It's Falmouth, Kentucky. And you're not going to hear any foul mouth here. This is a clean show, but Shenanigans and Shine. That sounds fun, huh?
Yeah, we're excited. This is going to be a great show, and we're looking forward to it. What we're going to do this, it's going to be kind of like 2 sets. So the first show will be different than the second. And we're going to be trying out some new things that we're going to be doing this year. So it's a good show for us to kind of get a good rehearsal in before we hit the real hard touring season. we're looking forward to coming up that northern Kentucky part, because we always are in central Kentucky doing some shows, and even out in western Kentucky, like in Murray. We did a show in Murray last year, but it's nice to be going up towards Cincinnati. It's more towards Cincinnati, kind of in that area, up towards Florence and stuff. So
That's right.
we're looking forward to coming to that part of the country and giving them a little Alex Miller.
Some great folks up in that neck of the woods. Then on Friday, February 9th, you got a good booker who in the middle of winter gets you a gig at the Glades County Season of Fine Arts in Moorhaven, Florida.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we're excited to be coming to Florida. Now, that'll actually be my first time in Florida with my band, so we're really excited about that show, and we're expecting it to be pretty good. Well, the show's going to be great no matter what, but we're looking forward. We might take a few days and go to the beach on that one. I don't know what we might just have to go put our toes in the sand for a day or two.
Yes, you've earned it, man. Go do it.
Well, I don't know if I've earned it or not, but it sure would be nice.
Well, then on Saturday, March 16th, you're headed to Paris.
That's right.
Illinois.
That's right.
Where
Not as far up. He ain't got to fly, so that's all I care about.
Paris, Illinois, the Ernie Evelyn Gym. And I'm sure you're going to be having a number of summertime shows that'll be announced soon as well.
That's exactly right. I know we're going to be doing some more state fair things. And I think we'll be up in Ohio quite a bit this year. We'll be over in West Virginia quite a bit this year, and just trying to expand the region, I guess you could say.
I love it. Yeah, I see somebody on here saying, Mike Patterson, come to Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Some good folks down in the Cape and the old Boot Hill area, so make sure you get there and check him out Missouri. If you're in there.
Yeah, we've been to Missouri several times. Love Missouri. Love y'all over there. Y'all take care.
Another great artist on here, Bobby Marquez, our buddy, says, great young talent. Alex is the kind of young artist we need in country music, and that's high praise coming from Bobby. So, Bobby, if you're still watching, here'd be another great candidate for Country with Heart. His great benefit for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital that happens during CMA week every June in Nashville. So, maybe there's an opportunity there to bring the Alex Miller experience to Nashville.
I would love to. And thank you, Bobby, for your kind words. I appreciate you.
And thank you to everybody else who's checking in here. We've got Donald Clemens checking in here. Our buddy Ryan Rooster Lee checking in here from Portland, Tennessee tonight. Cool. Up doing his thing. And man, a lot of great folks here. I always got to shut down the comments when Rooster gets on here because he's always up to no good here. He gets me off my game, so I got to stop watching that. And I got to remember, before we get out of here, we got to plug the socials and the website.
Okay. If you want to follow me, folks, I'm like Flyer. I get all over the place. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and my handle is the same, all of them. All you got to type in is A Miller Music and hit that follow button, and you can keep up to date with all I've got going on. Or go over to my website at Alex Miller Country. If you want to keep up with my music, make sure to go over to my Spotify. I always point people to my Spotify, and you can listen to all my music, the songs that you heard on here tonight. You can get over on Spotify and listen to every doggone day, and that sure would suit me fine. So make sure to do that and help me out over on my music side of things. That's what we're trying to push kind of right now, Brent, is getting folks over and follow me on my Spotify.
Make sure you go do that. Follow him on Spotify. And when you're on the website, you can catch all the videos there. He's got them all linked very cleanly on the website. So you can see everything that we didn't get a chance to get to tonight because an hour is just not enough time to spend. We can spend all day just listening to these songs and just shooting the bull here.
Well, I appreciate that. I enjoy getting to talk, believe it or not.
Couldn't believe that at all. I see Landon Waters says his buddy from down in South Georgia is on here. So.
We did a video with him. I met him at Carter's Guitars, and we picked together. Man, he's a fantastic picker. He plays like he's like Marty Stewart. He has that bender in his guitar, so every time he can make some cool licks by pulling that guitar and bending it. Great picker. Good to see you, Landon. I
love it. Good to see South Georgia represented. We love the folks down there. We love to get down there to Moultrie for the old Sunbelt Ag Expo when we get a chance to do that. Some good folks down that way, Valdosta and such. So shout out to everybody there. Shout out to everybody who's watching tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And hey, we're going to be doing these things throughout the winter and spring months. And I hope you'll join me. If you haven't already liked the Rural Strong Media Facebook page. Go like that thing and share it with your friends, especially if you're into agriculture, farming, ranching, have anything to do with ag, or you like true traditional country music, you like the things that we've talked about here tonight. Go click like and share on that Facebook page so you can follow all these. We've got a lot going on here, including Tractors and Troubadours, which is my weekly radio show and podcast. We drop a new episode every Friday where we talk about agriculture industry newsmakers, hot button industry issues, educational features, and the best in traditional country music. And you can find that at ruralstrongmedia.com or wherever you get podcasts. We're on all the major podcast platforms. We'd love for you to go subscribe to that and listen to the new episode every Friday. We get a lot of Alex's music on there. Whenever the new releases come, we'll make sure we got them there for you. Also, you can find us at Rural Strong Radio, which is our 24/7 streaming radio station. Found at ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 streaming radio app for your mobile device. There, you're going to find our award-winning agriculture programming, as well as the best in traditional country music, mixed in with a little bluegrass, western swing, southern rock, and inspirational music. Again, ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 streaming radio app. We're portable, whenever you're out there working, whatever you're doing, take us with you. We're there 24/7 to keep you entertained and informed. So join us there. And we just want to thank everybody who's been with us tonight. It's been a blast. Alex, thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having us on, and good to see you again, Brett. We appreciate you having us on, and hopefully we'll get to talk again here real soon.
And I'll be back on Friday with my good friend Steve Markwart for Fort Worth Musical Moments. If you haven't already gotten plugged into that, make sure you go get plugged in to the Fort Worth Musical Moments Facebook group and their associated Clarksville Creative Sound Facebook group for the Clarksville Creative Sound Recording Studios out of Clarksville, Tennessee. We do that show each Friday morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, where we talk about a lot of the artists who are making an impact in the Fort Worth, Texas music scene. Steve and I get a lot of great artists on there and a lot of great folks. And it's always a good time just to hear behind the music, getting behind the scenes and getting to learn a little bit about what makes artists tick and what makes this whole music machine go. So I hope you check in with all those. Thank you again to everybody. We'll be back again soon with another live stream here from Rural Strong Media. For Alex Miller, it's Brent Adams. We'll see you again next time. Good night, everybody.